Hello and welcome to my channel Tech with Eddie, which is all about integrating your IT devices with your preferred smart home ecosystem. In today's video, we will integrate your TASMOTA flash devices into Apple HomeKit using MQTT and give you that complete local control. Now, there are tons of plugin tutorials that I have done, so please do take a look and don't feel shy to hit that like and subscribe button to always follow along. Anyways, for this to work with Apple HomeKit, we will need just two things. First is a TASMOTA flash device. I will be using this Sonoff Channel Pro R2, but don't worry, we will also go through the flashing of the same device. Two, your DIY platform, we will be using the hoobs out of the box, but we can also do it with homebridge. Now, I have broken down the video into 5 parts with the timestamps in the description. They are 1. The MQTT install plus the initial configuration. 2. Flashing TASMOTA. We will use TASMOTizer to flash the device. 3. A quick TASMOTA configuration and MQTT test. And then we will go into the plugin install and overview. And lastly, the plugin configuration. So it's a pretty comprehensive video. Let's not waste time and let's jump into this tutorial. Now for the MQTT install, I've already done a couple of videos how to do it, but we can do it. I'm going to do it again one more time. And if you're using a Synology NAS, you want to install it via Docker, here's a link to access that installation. So what I'm going to do is to install my MQTT, I'm going to access my hoobs box and install the broker service in it. Now let's go and see how to do that. Let's open up terminal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to SSH into the box. And I've kept this link into the description. All we got to do is go to copy all these commands and have this installation completed. So the first one I'm going to copy. Go on with the next one. And now we're going to configure the MQTT. So I've already added these 3 lines to the configuration over here down below. Like I said, this is from my previous setups. And once you add them over here, all you got to do is press Ctrl X. And you can save it as well since there are no changes. And now let's go ahead and create a username and password. And I'm going to call this just MQTT. It's going to prompt me a password. And now let's go and test it. Let's go ahead and give that username. So if you get this feedback, that means the MQTT service is working. Now let's go ahead and check it. So I'm going to open up this app. Again, I have the link in the description, and let's go ahead and set it up in the in this application. I'm going to click on this configurator tool, click add. I'm going to call it hoobs box. Type in the IP address, leave the broker port as it is, and I'm going to go to user credentials, click apply, and let's connect. So once you see this green light over that the connection is complete, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to YouTube, click on a subscription, go to publish, YouTube, and say hello world. Say publish. If I go to subscribe, we should see this message over here. So this confirms we've got the MQTT service up and running. And just in case if you don't know what is MQTT, I have scrubbed through the YouTube world and I found one video which literally addresses the whole concept of MQTT and the Internet of Things. So I've left that in the description as well. Do take a look. Now let's jump on to the next section. Now, this is where the fun begins, to flash the device and load that custom firmware into the Sonoff device that we're going to use. So first things first, there are a lot of links in the description that I've added in. So you have to consult them when you go into the flashing of the devices. And rule of the thumb, whenever you flash a device, please disconnect it from the main power supply. Do not flash the device with the mains inserted into the device. It could be fatal for you and the surrounding around you. So please make sure of that. Now, first things first, when you go into the TaskModa web page, there is a lot of information over there. Please go through it thoroughly. I'm going to skip a couple of parts and go directly into flashing the device. Now, when you flash a device, there are a lot of flashing tools. Altogether, there are 5 of them. What I like and got accustomed with is the TaskMotizer. So when you go into TaskMotizer, a very light Python application, and also has inbuilt configs that you can send directly to the device. What we will do is we will load this installer, and then we will go into the flashing mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy first these commands. I'm going to go to the terminal and I'm going to paste it. Once that's done, go on to the next one. And then we go into the TaskModa PI. So in fact, I've already gone through the installation. That's why it skipped a lot of the stuff. And if you want to run the application, simple command, and it loads it up. So I'm just going to close it right now, and then we are going to go into the TaskMotizing session. Now, to flash the device, you will need an FTDI card. You can also do it with a Node MCU, but this one's much more cheaper, and get a bunch of jumper cables to do the flashing and loading of the custom firmware. Very simple to do the flashing. All you got to do is first go to the template section. All right, go to the templates. I've added this link over here. Type search, and then you're going to look for your device. So in this case, we're going to do Sonoff 4-channel. Oh, here it is. So this is the device. It gives you location and all of the configurations, and also in most of it tells you to where to add in those pins of the receiving, the transmission, the 3-volt, as well as the ground. So you want to follow these instructions very clearly and very simple. Now let's go ahead and look at my device of how I've done it. So first things first, you want to connect all of the receiving and transmitting cables together with the 3-volt. And most importantly, at this image, you want to make sure you choose the right functionality of the device. So you want 1 device or 2 channels on. And then you want to make sure you hold the GPI port correctly and plug in the USB device. Once that's completed, you're all good to start the process. Make sure you download the taskmota.bin, open up terminal, and run the taskmota.py application. Once the application is started, there is no worries if you have multiple tries. You want to load the taskmota.bin, choose the USB port, and hit TaskModa. There is a possibility you may have it success the first go, but don't give up. A couple of tries will definitely get through it with flashing the device. It took me a couple of tries, but ultimately I got through it, and I'm making this video. So once the flashing is completed, give it it's very quick, few seconds, and once that is done, you'll get a successful message both in terminal as well as from the application. You can also go and send the configuration across, which is the SSID information and also the MQTT. You can also select the templates automatically for the most common ones, and then also configure the MQTT information. So there's a lot of things you can do with it with the templates already built in, making it a lot more easier to flash TaskModa and customize firmware into these devices. Now, for the device configuration, let's go open up our Wi-Fi, and you see that the device is already over here. Let's click on it, and you should see a pop-up coming up soon. And let's go ahead and put in our SSID information. And all you want to do is say save, and it's going to reset. Give it a couple of seconds, and once this pop-up screen disappears, it confirms that the device is already in your network. And also at the same time, you can go ahead and check in your router settings and see what is the IP address. So I've done that, and the IP address for this device is. So this is the page of the configure that confirms that the device has been flashed. But if you see over here, it does not correspond to the 4-channel port. It shows as a basic border. To change that, let's go to configuration. Let's go to configure module, and we're going to select all the way down to 4-channel Pro. Save. This is going to reset. and you just heard the click over there. Once that's completed, you will see now that it was previously Sonoff basic model. Now it's Sonoff 4-channel Pro module. Now from here you will see that you can turn on all of them, and we can go to configuration. We can again go over here and configure the Wi-Fi. We can go ahead and configure the MQTT. So I'm going to put it at 192 and add in the password. And I'm just going to change this as Sonoff. I'm going to leave it as it is over here and say save. Give it a couple of seconds for the device to restart. Go back to configuration. You can also configure for other ecosystem as well as create a timer and other logging information as well. But I'm going to leave it as it is. Go back to configuration, configure other. Over here, you can add in the template. So if you want, you can go back to the template section and copy this information away if you want to. So what we're going to do is select, copy. We can go over here and paste this entire information over here if you want it. But since it already has this template built in, we're not going to change anything. So I'm just going to go back to configuration, go back to config other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to again call this as Sonoff and leave it as it is, enabling the MQTT service. And I'm going to not emulate this device. Say save, it'll reset. Now what we want to do is you want to go back, if you want to toggle on one switch, you're going to go to console and you'll see that over here that the command over here is power 1. So we can go to power 1, power 2, power 3 and power 4. So if I go back to main menu and turn them all on, go to console, you'll see all of this information over here. Alternatively, if you want to test it, you can go to command sonoff, what is power 1 off, on, sorry. So you can hear that it's gone on as well. And if you want to check, we can go back to main menu. It's on over here. So with this, what happens is it confirms that the MQTT service is working and you can message with the device. Now what we're going to do is the MQTT is configured within the TasModa device, and we have finished all of the configuration. Now let's go into the MQTT application and call onto this device via the MQTT service that we have installed. Let's go and do that now. Let's go and open up the MQTT over here. And you want to connect it to the box that we had configured previously. And all we're going to type in over here is cmnd/sonoff power 1. We're going to type here on. You see over here, it has changed, and we can also do that off. So this confirms that the MQTT service on its own is working completely, that we have installed, and also confirms the device that we have tasmotized and flashed with a custom firmware is also working. Now, the next one is how to get all of the devices into Apple HomeKit. Okay, now here comes the interesting part of migrating the device into Apple HomeKit. First things first, let's log into our Hoobs console and install the plugin. Once in, let's go to search, and we're going to type in over here MQTT thing. I'm going to hit install. Now, while this plugin is installing, I've gone ahead over here and open up the plugin's description. Currently, there are a lot of devices supported for this plugin, and again, you have to flash all of these devices or even use Zigbee to MQTT, which I intend to do videos as well. So in our case, these are all of the available configurations, accessory types available that supports MQTT thing. What I'm going to do is we are going to treat this 4-channel Pro as a switch. So we're going to go over here and move that to see the configuration for switch. And also at the same time, I added a link for all of the tested configurations. So if there's something that you want to do, you can go ahead and check these as well. So I'm going to go to outlets and plugs, and you can see all of the available configurations, and we can also see for the switches, dimmers and switches, and how they are configured. So we have the plugin installed over here. What I typically do is, instead of going and configuring within the plugin, I prefer doing the entire configuration in the accessories. And also there are the accessory types all over here. So I've added the links in the description. You can also go into the tested configurations that I've also included in the description. So in this case, since we're going to be adding this 4-channel Pro into Apple HomeKit as a switch, so I've gone and going to copy paste this switch configuration, and I'm going to take it over here within the accessory section. So I'm going to paste it over here, and I'm going to type as switch, and I'm going to give it a name as, say, garden, and this is the URL of the server. So it's 192.168.86.101 together with the port. So this tells the configuration where the MQTT broker service is working, the MQTT username and password. This one's optional, so I'm going to remove this one as well. Now this is the most important thing, is how to turn on and off the device. So in this case, let's go to the console of the device, and you have seen over here the commands that we turn on and off the device. So in this case, I'm going to go to the configuration, and I'm going to type here, get on is the stat sonoff power 1. So power 1 is the first channel, and I'm also going for the set on. I'm going to call it as command sonoff power 1. So this is the command to turn it on. This is the topic, and this is the message. The other ones over here is optional, so I'm going to delete this one as well. The on value, I'm going to keep it as on, and off value, I'm going to keep it as off. The rest, leave it as it is. Don't need it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save. Let's go to accessories, and if I turn on the device over here, you can hear the click. It's close to the microphone. So this confirms that the device is connected with Apple HomeKit. Now let's go into Apple HomeKit and see if the device is available. And we see that the device is here. So if I go to show controls, I can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So what I can do is, at the same time, this confirms that the devices are available, and you can see that the SSD is loaded. If I wanted to add more devices, I would go to the advanced configuration, and I would copy all of this, paste it, and at the end over here, I would call it as power 2. That's from the console. I would give this another name as call. Copy this, and I would go on and add in the other two. Once completed, let's hit save changes. Let's go to accessories, and we should see 4 devices over here. So you turn all of them. And let's quickly go into Apple HomeKit. We see that the devices are here as well. So I can go to show controls. And similarly do this for the other ones as well. So this basically shows that the MQTT service is connected with the broker, and the broker is connected with the device. And this completely concludes the integration. Finally, there we are. Collaboratively, we have integrated the TaskMota Flash device into Apple HomeKit using MQTT. Now, to keep all of this going, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, because that's the real driver, that's the real motivator. The more the merrier. And if there's anything I can assist with, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'll be glad to assist you as well. And also, don't forget to visit the developers webpage and give them your star and support as well. So my friends, until the next time, stay safe, have a nice day, and happy automation.